Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get started. So, firstly, thank you very much for joining us. Secondly, a quick introduction. My name's Jordan. I work for the Irana team, and for those of you who don't know, I'm sure most of you do. This is Keegan Palmer, 2 times gold Olympian champion for skateboarder. Put your hands together. So today we're just going to go through a Q&A. We have a number of questions, understand a little bit about Keegan's journey, his involvement with the RADA, and sort of, you know, the ecosystem around him as well. So you take a seat, Keegan. We have a short video to play quickly, just on some of the stuff that we've done with Keegan and the RADA. Just all eyes on the screen. There we go. So that's a little overview of everything that Keegan's done with the RADA. Some really exciting things in there. And Keegan, before we move to the blaringly obvious 2 sort of gold medals around your neck, for the guys that don't know you already, can you just give a little sort of, you know, synopsis of where you're from, what you do, who you are, and how you got here?
Testing. All right. Well, I'm Keegan Palmer. I'm 21 years old. I was born in America. I moved to Australia when I was 1 year old. Lived there for about 15 years, and then recently moved back to San Diego about 6 years ago, just for training purposes, career purposes. And yeah, that's about the story about my life. Injuries along the way. Very excited to work with you guys. Been doing this stuff now for a while now, and it was really cool to watch that video. It brought me back to like my first trip here, and remember how mind-blowing it was, and really expanded my mind on the way the buildings are here. Just everything about it's amazing. You guys, the people, everyone that works here, amazing.
Nice. And then you started off with a little bit of surfing. Skating as well, obviously Australia, USA, and then you made your first tour, your pro tour debut in 2018.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then, and then you sort of, you know, obviously went on to 2 Olympic Games.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously you've won 2 gold medals that are around the neck at the moment. Can you kind of share what it felt like to win these, and you know, how have these victories shaped your career?
I mean, I think for me personally, this first one right here from Tokyo means a lot, you know, just because it was a big breakthrough in my career. I didn't have a lot of wins in the pro circuit, you know, under my belt and stuff like that. This pin has a really cool story behind it. A Japanese soldier actually gave it to me off his uniform after I won the gold, so I put it on my medal as a memory. It's really cool. It's called the Sakura tree. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. And then, you know, being able to pull it off in Paris, you know, 3 years later was, you know, mind-blowing just because I was able to show everyone it wasn't a fluke. I was able to keep up with everyone over the next 3 years. And yeah, it's really speechless, honestly. It's quite a crazy feeling to be a skateboarder and talking to you guys like this and having 2 gold medals around my neck. It's quite surreal, that's for sure.
And then from moving from probably an amateur athlete, kind of around the age of 14, then moving through the pro tours and you know, competitions in Sydney and then to the Tokyo Olympics. Was there kind of a moment prior to reaching the Olympics that you thought, you know, actually this is within reach. This is a real life goal that I can become an Olympian and become a medal winner?
I mean, yeah, I think that was the crazy thing for us. It was such a quick turnaround. Like, it went from being announced for us, the skateboarding is going to be in it in 2018, to it being run in 2020, but it being pushed to a later date because of COVID and stuff. So it was quite crazy to, you know, be told this when in 2018 and being like, holy cow, we could be Olympic athletes, not just skateboarders, you know, and cross between both the worlds. And I think when we stepped into that realm in Tokyo, it was huge. You know, it was huge for us. It was able to create opportunities like this and build communities like this for people and, you know, just create new eyes on skateboarding. And I think it's done a lot for us.
And you just touched a little bit on, you know, creating a bigger picture when it becomes sort of, you know, from skateboarding, it used to be very much a street competition, then it moved to park, and now there's a much wider industry involved in it. How did you kind of, you know, feel standing on the podium, not just about the skateboarding, but what you've done for the industry and how you've kind of grown the sport?
I mean, I think one of my biggest goals, you know, after being able to win these medals was to create skateboarding in communities that didn't really have skateboarding, you know, and to see how much it's exploded here over the years that I've been coming isn't crazy. Like, it's gone 10 times. Like, the kids are even doing tricks that I do in the competitions nowadays. It's insane, and it's because of facilities like this that kids are able to get as good as they are getting, and I think it's been super beneficial even for my skating and my well-being to come here and do stuff, because it gives me new ideas to create my skating, because You know, when people don't have like the social medias or the stuff like that to be able to see what people in America are doing, they come up with their own ideas and create new ideas for skating. And I think it's just expanded the way skateboarding has become. And it's just awesome to see because that was one of the goals that we wanted for skating, just to grow the sport because it's quite small. You know, we haven't been around for that long.
We're going to move on to, we're going to touch upon your sort of involvement in the RADA skate parks. But first, just going back to the Olympics question, now you are 2 times gold winner. Has it changed your approach to skateboarding or the way you enter competitions, nerves beforehand?
I mean, I would say, after Tokyo, it was definitely nerve-wracking, because I was always the underdog fighting for the top guys, and I was the one being hunted, you could say, and it was quite a crazy feeling for sure. Like, I was getting really nervous at the first few events after Tokyo, and, it was an amazing learning experience, being able to overcome those feelings and almost be excited when there's more people watching and being excited when people are coming after you, and wanting to get better and stuff like that. So I think it was a really cool learning experience, and once I overcame that, I was able to evolve into a better person.
Cool. All right, and then obviously on the TV, everyone here, we've just seen what Keegan has done with RADA and the involvement that he's had. Part of what we haven't seen on here is actually his involvement in creating the bowl or helping design the bowl. Just want to touch a little bit upon that. What sort of inspired you to take part in the project? What have you learned working with RADA to develop, your own skate park, and has it affected your skating?
I mean, I would say the really cool idea is the stuff that you're seeing on the screen now is, this wasn't even really a part of the initial plan, and we came up with these ideas with a few people, with RADA and a few people in America with skate park designs, and we're able to create this thing. And since the first time I came here, there was probably like 5 or 6 kids. Now there's almost like 100. It's insane. And I've seen even some kids go back to a few of their nationalities, trying to represent their countries now to go even for the Olympics. Like this one kid, Nicolo, that is representing France now. When I first came here, he was doing a few tricks. Now he's doing tricks I do in my run, and it's amazing to see, So I think that's a really cool part, and, it's a world-class park, that we can have an Olympic competitions at. So it's somewhere if I need to get away and practice somewhere away from everybody in America, I could come here and do that easily, And I even saw yesterday when I was doing stuff at the park that there's a guy that represents the Slovakia team for street skateboarding, and he was training there with his coach yesterday, and I was like, holy cow, people are really coming here to train, and it's amazing to see,
Yeah, we have lots of athletes coming across, obviously staying in the Nest hotels and really making use of that skate park, which is awesome to see, both local and international communities as well. And then the skate park, Keegan, obviously you sort of had your say in the design. Do you have a favourite feature? Like what kind of defines your skating? What style do you take, and how does it differ to, say, the likes of Pedro or to someone else?
Yeah, I mean, I get the biggest feedback I get from the park is it's quite crazy. It kind of has everything that I like from around the world kind of thrown in one. It's quite a crazy concept to do, but, this is what we do out here. We do crazy things. So, we were able to put all my favorite things from around the world. Like we have a little bit of this place called in Bondi Beach, Australia. There's a little bit of this tight corner. There's a few walls that were represented to the Tokyo Olympics. There's a few walls that are represented to a few contests that I did in Utah and America. So there's a bunch of really cool things that I've put into that park that I like from around the world. And the feedback I've gotten from my other competitors is it's big, it's gnarly, as you would say in skating. And it was just a really cool thing. And, people have liked it, and they're really excited to come back.
Awesome. And then you touched a little bit on community. Obviously, we have loads of young skaters come through. We have the skate jams and people really getting involved. My question for you is kind of what advice would you give a younger skater or someone coming up, having seen you obviously come through, starting at a very young age of 2, I believe,
yes.
And then 3, then all the way through to becoming pro at 14, and then obviously now 2 times gold Olympic champion.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the biggest advice, it's definitely like it's going to be a long road with lots of sacrifices for sure, Injury, I've had my fair share of broken bones, but, it also teaches you a good life skill on never to give up. So that's also a life skill and a good skate skill. And just have fun with it, because if you have fun with it, you'll do it a lot. And if you do it a lot, you're going to get good at it. So It's the easiest way to put it.
10,000 hours.
Yeah, it's about it. But
And are you fit and healthy at the moment? Everything's good?
I'm good. I'm fit, healthy, and couldn't be happier.
Happy days. And when's the next competition? When you sort of next
At the moment, right now, we don't have our 2025 schedule yet, which is nice for me because it means I get a little bit of free time.
Yeah.
But hopefully soon, though, just because, it's been nice on the road a lot for these contests, keeping it consistent,
And obviously, we keep in touch, so I kind of understand a little bit about it. But what does a skateboarder get up to when he's not skateboarding?
I don't know, close your ears, but just kidding. But I would say the biggest thing that we do in skating or off the road is I do a lot of surfing, I play a lot of golf. I have a few bucket list places in the world that I like to travel to, so I want to go to those places. But other than that, just keeping the body fit, like physical therapy, hitting the gym, eating well, practicing skateboarding. That's about it, really. Nothing too crazy going on outside of skateboarding.
And then obviously we held the World Skate Champs in Dubai Harbour in February, March. Really awesome to see loads of pro skaters coming, from all across the world. Skating, from your perspective, is bigger than a sport. It's a culture. Can you just touch on a little bit about the skating culture, how it brings people together from all over the world, and kind of your thoughts around that?
I mean, I would say that was like the biggest impact skateboarding actually had at the Olympics was the community base that we have, of course we all want to win these contests and stuff like that, but I think the coolest part is we're all really happy for each other. Like my friend Tom, I got second at the Olympics. I met him when I was probably 7 or 8 years old when he first came to Australia, doing contests there, and to be 21, he was 24 or something now, and to compete against each other, it's just exciting, because we've been friends before this Olympic stuff was even a thing, so it's not really going to change our friendship. And I think that what we showed in skating is we all hang out together, we eat together. Like the one biggest thing I take away is in the Olympic Village when we're all eating food in the village area, is we're all just like this France, Italy, Brazil, America, Australia. And then all the other athletes are usually just all with their country, and we always get crazy looks, but we're just all a big family, at this point. And if Tom were to beat me on that day, he just skated better than I did, and I need to go work on that. I need to get better myself, so that's about it, That's the easiest way to describe skateboarding at its purity.
For sure, yeah. And we try and implement, obviously that sort of attitude and that culture at the skate park with the communities. Really important that, younger people also take that forward and, have that sort of feeling towards it. So kind of coming to our closing questions. If there is something that you'd like to, obviously you've added a lot to the skateboarding realms, you've really developed the sport, you've done this sort of stuff. If you had another goal, what would that kind of goal look like? Is there anything else that's kind of on the hit list in regards to the skateboarding industry?
I mean, it doesn't hurt to have a few more of these for sure. But I definitely have my eyes set on at least 2 more Olympics. The 2032 Olympics is in Brisbane, which is an hour away from where I grew up in Australia. So it'd be really cool to be able to do that one. So that would be the goal. But, just would keep doing stuff like this, keep building skate communities around the world in places that need the steps and need the molding, I want to be there and help that. And that's about it, really.
Yeah. And then you mentioned, obviously, at the start, you were obviously 21, which to everybody in here is a very young age. The more we now look at professional sports, both skateboarding and, the likes of gymnastics, swimming, people are getting younger and younger, and we're especially seeing that in, the likes of street competitions, park competitions. You have 13-year-olds landing, in 540, kick from varials, etc.
Exactly.
Is there, not a threat, but is there a thought that you have to consider where age comes to it, and these younger guys coming through?
I mean, of course, skateboarding is an action sport, I put my body on the line, every day I skateboard, so, I can have an injury or stuff like that, so, it's never always permanent, but I think with, nowadays there's a lot of new stuff we can do to keep our bodies healthy and stuff like that. And then I just got to keep up with this new generation of kids because I wasn't that kid that was able to learn tricks really quickly, come up with new stuff, different ideas and skate different ways, and just got to make sure I keep up with that generation and make sure I'm leading the pack, still leading into these next few events. And I think I could have a good chance of doing it for at least a long time, but look at Tony Hawk, he's still doing it. He's, in his 50s, so never know.
Awesome, okay. Thanks, Keegan. Well, we've got obviously a masterclass on Friday evening at the Alcala Skate Park, followed by skate competitions, another Q&A on Saturday, and then another game to skate on Sunday. But we're going to open it up to the audience. So if anyone has questions for Keegan, skating related or not, I'm sure he'd be more than happy to ask.
First time I watched the Olympics because of all the things that I saw here happen. And I was watching from Brazilian channel, and they was super excited. Like literally, the guy screamed when you finish your run. And for me, I couldn't understand what you did there, but it was something unbelievable. What you did on the skate park that gave you the gold medal? What was the trick? What was the? Because the guy was trying to explain, but because I'm not into the sport, so.
I mean, I would say the best way I could describe it to you would probably be, the one thing that I take away from it would probably be is the thing that I did differently to say everyone that made me stand out wasn't really the trick alone. Like when I went to Tokyo, it was kind of the one trick that really won me the contest because it was like ahead of the time, you could say. But in Paris, the way I skated, the way I used the facility, the way you could say like the way I drew the lines on the canvas, you could say. I was different to everyone. The tricks that I chose, the lines that I took were a lot more different and I think unique, and I think the judges liked that, and the tricks were still difficult. And I think that's what really separated me apart, but that's for sure.
Oops, sorry. Keegan, you just mentioned obviously a little bit about how all the skate parks, or everyone has a different line, everyone has a sort of different style. One thing that really amazes me as a skater, there are no two skate parks the same, right?
Yeah.
So every skate park in the world, if they're professionally designed, are completely different. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the really cool thing about skating is you go to a skate park like we have in Saja, completely different. We have the skate park that we did in the marina, completely different. I think it keeps our minds creative. It makes us learn new, different lines, maybe new tricks for features that are in the park that are special to that. I think that's something that just keeps our minds flowing, makes us excited, because personally, if I skated the same thing over and over again for a year, I'd be pretty bored, I won't lie.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, anyone else? Yes?
I don't need this.
Don't need it. Fine.
Keegan, well, first of all, welcome back.
Thank you.
But we need to do it the other way.
Yes.
You know the other way.
I know the other way.
Welcome back.
Thank you, brother.
Okay, Keegan just said he has his eyes on 2 more Olympics. The way we see it in Arada is Keegan with 4 gold medals.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Come on.
But I have a message for someone else. I think someone special is with you today, right?
Yes. Agent.
Agent.
Yeah.
Yes. You have done a magnificent job.
She has.
Okay, so we need to appreciate you as well. Okay, so congratulations and all the best with the 2 coming Olympics, and we need to see you with 4 gold medals.
That's the goal. Come on.
Okay.
I'd love to.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah. 2 questions. You said there are a couple of countries in your bucket list. Which are those countries?
Sorry. I would say a few of my bucket list countries are, there's in Uganda, I really want to go. The Uganda Skateboard Society, they just got funds to create a new skate park over there. Those guys have actually came and competed in Saja actually before as well, which they were really excited about. And yeah, I would love to go visit them. My mom is also born and raised in South Africa, for a lot of people that didn't know that. Yeah. So I would really like to go visit a few African countries because, I really love it over there. And then there's a few islands that I would love to go visit surfing-wise.
Second question. Thanks for that. What are the qualities that makes you the world champion?
I mean, I would say some of the qualities that would, not separate me, but would make me a world champion is, when it comes down to practice and when I need to put my head down, I'm really good at being able to focus and really work on creating new stuff. And I think one of the biggest things for skateboarding to be world champion is just staying ahead of that curve, creating tricks and lines that people wouldn't think of on, just being able to think on the spot, being creative, being able to get in the bowl and be able to be like, okay, I can do this trick here. Oh, but I'm going slow, so I need to be able to do a different trick, So I think being able to think on your feet, but also be confident that you won't fall is another attribute. And then just making sure your body, in the words I say, is making the Ferraris always tune, taking it to the workshop, making sure the body feels good. It's the best way to put it.
Thanks, Keegan, because the reason why
I would say consistency and lots of sacrifice, I haven't gone to regular school since 4th grade. I was homeschooled from 4th grade to 12. So I had to sacrifice my whole childhood pretty much to be sitting here and have 2 medals pretty much. So
Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Thanks.
What's your training schedule like, especially when you're training for Olympics?
I mean, I would say that's the nice thing about skating is we're a lot more loose, you could say, in like the training schedule. But when it comes down to it, we're serious. Like for me personally, I like to do hour-and-a-half sessions, you know, skateboarding wise, instead of three-hour sessions, because I can get more done in that hour and a half than I could in 3 hours. And you know, making sure that I'm strong, that I'm able to hold on to my skateboard for 45 seconds, because in our normal events, 45 seconds is how long our routines are, you could say, or runs. And I think that is the key factors in practicing. And I think that I don't really have a schedule, to be honest. That's the nice thing about skating. It's more just wake up in the morning like, hey, I'm gonna go skateboard. It's our practice pretty much.
Keegan, on a lighter note, the gentleman who gave you a hug 5 minutes back, can you make him skateboard?
Of course. I think we can make this happen very easily. I have my skateboard in the car.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
The video you're watching, the very beautiful video, actually you don't know about behind the scenes. This was taken in Sharjah in August when I met Keegan for the first time. And Keegan was like sweating and it was too hot. And I was thinking, my God, what a bad timing to do this. But the smile you had on your face with all the sweat and the hug we had,
Oh yeah.
okay?
It's
I
great.
remember that. It was a beautiful moment.
I mean, it was good training for me for Paris, you know, heat training. It was really hot in Paris, so it was good heat training right before. But no, I mean, look, I'm a skateboarder from Australia, you know, this is crazy to me, so why would I not be excited?
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Any more?
Yeah. Keegan, congratulations. We didn't actually have a doubt. A lot of people here with desk jobs will look at your career and they like fantasize what it would be like to be a pro skateboarder. Have you got any sort of desk job fantasies or jobs that you want?
Desk job. Gaming.
Desktop fantasy.
I would, you know, if skating never worked out, I'd probably take on what my dad does. For a lot of people that don't know, my dad is a computer engineer. So he does computer programming. So I've always been good with numbers, so maybe I could sit down and do some computer programming at a desk with him.
That's cool.
Yeah.
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 Your favorite skate park?
Oh, my favorite skate park, that's a good question. I have one really favorite skate park that I went to when I was 7, and I go back almost every year. It's in Brazil, Florianopolis. It's Pedro Barros, who I've actually brought here. Has met a few of the people that work here before, and he has an amazing skate park there. And then I would say the park that I grew up in, called Eleanora in Gold Coast in Australia. That's probably one of my favorite ones. And then, come on, the park on the other side. Come on, guys, come on. But that park's cool because the two skate parks that I just told you about are combined at each other. So I have little bits of both from that place. Oi, tudo bem, se você? Bem?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Okay, any more? If not, then sorry.
Why do the kids in Algeria skate
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm 21, but I'm still a kid at heart. I got a lot of energy, so I kind of can match their energy when they're all excited and stuff. And I don't know. I grew up in a small town, so when famous people would come to my town, I was that exact same kid, all excited when they were there, or wanting to get posters signed, or wanting to go skate or do a competition. So, I mean, I would just like to say that I bring excitement, and I would like to give back to the community. So,
I appreciate it. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you, Keegan. Guys, just a big warm thank you for Keegan. And I believe we're going to do a few photos with HODs first, and then sort of head of departments, and then all staff can come get a photo. He's going to be here for the next 30 minutes or so. So, yeah, enjoy.